So recently there's been a little bit of a resurgence in a trend in the VTuber kind of space, and well, it's been a very popular one, but it has also come with a little bit of backlash. Now, obviously, as you guys can see here, this is the kind of trend that has been going around. This is obviously Shondo doing it, and well, it's been a mix of obviously serious ones and also, fake ones as well. The majority of them do tend to be fake and, pretty insane. But yeah, as you can tell here, Shondo saying, I hope you don't mind the little immersion break. You see there, you got Shondo as model, and then obviously some of this random guy with a beer, right? Again, obviously you guys know that is not real. Wait, well, maybe it is Shondo. You never know, to be honest. But again, obviously, it has been quite a funny trend. To be fair, it's been pretty interesting seeing all of it because, again, you have some really funny ones, and then you also have some just like nice-looking people behind their VTuber models, right? And I think that obviously has promoted quite a bit over on Twitter, and it has been a thing that has been going on for quite a while. But again, the trend has kind of picked up again with a lot of people posting their own ones recently. You got people like Hades here posting it a couple of days ago. Obviously them and Ariana Grande with a post. Obviously this one from a while ago from Armalee. This one is from over 2 years ago. So this shows you how long the trend's been going on for. And again, you can see this is a serious one, and there has been a lot of serious ones as well. And obviously Zen here with a joke one, VTuber versus IRL species, again from over 2 years ago. So this has been a trend that has been going on for a while now, but it seems like recently with a lot of the resurgence of this kind of stuff, especially with like Shondo and people like that posting these ones, right, it seems like some people are not happy with it for whatever reason that may be. Now, obviously, this is the first tweet that I actually saw about this from someone called Rhyme VT, and they say, I don't like the VTuber versus IRL trend. I like being a VTuber for my own anonymity. Since other VTubers are so comfortable sharing things about themselves, people come into my chat demanding face reveals and get really weird over the fact I don't want to do anything like that. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be happy to share these things. I guess I'm just sad that chatters think it's normal and I'm weird for wanting privacy, which is 100% true. And I think that is obviously one of the caveats that comes with this trend, right? Because obviously many people are seeing all of these really nice looking people over on Twitter, right? They see the video, obviously this one's a joke one, but you have ones like, for example, like Armalee's one where they actually show themselves. And, there's many like that. No, I can't go and scroll on Twitter about that because, again, some of them are also using it to promote some of their links. And it would be pretty crazy. I think I'll get banned off of YouTube if I was to show you guys. But again, it's all on there, right? And, that people are putting their IRL kind of faces and bodies and whatever on Twitter. And that's obviously getting a lot of people interested in some of their own favorite VTubers, because 9 times out of 10, these are VTubers that maybe you don't watch, or maybe, someone that you don't really know about. And then obviously someone sees that and they goes, well, what if my favorite VTuber was to do this as well? It's a trend, so, maybe they will get involved in it. But at the same time, there's many VTubers out there who aren't comfortable with showing their IRL face. And I think that's also the case with people like Shondo here. I don't know if Shondo showed their face IRL or not, but again, it seems like a lot of these people, and the same with Zen as well, a lot of these people are making these joke posts with, random guy beer or a toaster, because obviously they don't want to show their face, but they still want to join in on the trend and make it a little bit funny. And there's been so many posts of this, by the way, of people just kind of putting in like random faces, sometimes of like celebrities and stuff as well, which I think is quite funny. So again, there is like a way around it in terms of, you could joke about it, but obviously then it starts to get to the point where it gets annoying when you got people coming into your chat being like, hey, why don't you show your face? All these other VTubers are showing their face. Why aren't you doing this? And obviously, as someone who obviously wants to be anonymous, as someone who doesn't want to show their face, well, it's completely understandable that they're not very happy with people kind of harassing them over this in their chat, right? And I see people in reply and saying, yeah, I feel that. The anonymity is precisely what allows me to be myself out there, and I love my model as a muse and artistic inspo. But I do think that the little bait and switch face reveals are funny, like I said, the top IG one. So yeah, obviously it seems like they're very, open to this trend. It doesn't seem like they're hating on it or anything like that. It's just that they have had a bad experience with chatters and stuff like that coming in and saying, hey, why don't you do this? Do this now. And obviously that becomes an issue. That is a big issue. I can understand why that is a problem for them. But it seems like obviously they've been enjoying a lot of the joke ones and things like that. You know, it said, I figured that this recent trend was just a joke. At least everyone I've seen at least everyone I've seen doing it haven't been serious. Said it's kind of a mixed bag. I did mine as a gag, and I've seen others do the same. But there's plenty of people I've seen post their actual face. And yeah, I think Rhyme has actually done their own version of the post, but with obviously a fake kind of, you know, picture behind it. Let's say, to be fair, in the grand scheme of things, it is weird. Most content creators use their real information from the start, but it sounds to me like you just need to become more comfortable in your own skin and accept that it's perfectly fine to be weird. People that like the content you create won't care about whether you face reveal or not, and the ones that do will eventually all go away on their own. Just do you and stop worrying about the thoughts of people who don't actually matter. It said, I was going to annoy you, but seeing your replies to other people, I can't now. I'm perfectly capable of accepting I'm weird. But that said, I refuse to be labeled as weird for not allowing people to think that they're entitled to my identity. Which obviously, yeah, is 100% true. You know, you're not weird for saying that, hey, I don't want to show off my IRL identity to people online, right? You're not weird for doing that. There's a lot of people who are very uncomfortable with that for a lot of reasons, you know, maybe past experiences, maybe no past experiences, and you're just very conscious about your online safety, right? And that's totally fine. It said, saying that I'm not comfortable in my own skin, which, yeah, it's pretty wild. You know, this is a pretty wild response from them. They said, I've already had to deal with random online freaks message me pictures of my house before I was a content creator, so I have no intention of dealing with that a second time. Imagine trying to feel safe in your own home like that. And aside from my own issues, people on the internet are legit crazy. Like how Corpse was forced off the internet because people couldn't respect his privacy, the people that doxed Kenji. I'm not weird for not wanting to deal with any of that, which, yeah, it's 100% true, you know. They are not weird 1,000,000%. And obviously they said, by your own admittance, you're insecure. You made that clear when you said that other VTubers are comfortable sharing their info while you're not. That isn't a psychoanalysis. That's just basic logic. You're also becoming defensive and contradicting yourself by saying you don't have a problem accepting that you're weird, and then immediately follow up that by saying you don't want to be labeled as weird. So which one is it? It said, you're in fact psychoanalyzing me. Having a boundary does not make me insecure. Being a content creator does not mean I don't get to have boundaries, and mine aren't going to be the same as other people's. Did you not read what I said, or did you not understand me? I can accept that I'm weird, but I do not accept being called weird because I have boundaries. Call me weird for a million of other reasons, but that one is not valid. And you psychoanalyzed me again by saying that I'm paranoid and irrationally miserable. Nowhere did I say either of those, so what is this if it's not a psychoanalysis of me? Obviously, you don't follow me, and I'm glad you don't. I have no tolerance for freaks. I have no understanding of nuance or boundaries. And obviously, yeah, this dude just seems to be like kind of trying to, I guess, rage bait them right now. It's kind of crazy. He said, I never said I couldn't have boundaries. So again, obviously, a lot of people have been arguing with her in the chat as well, which is kind of unfortunate. But again, I think they are totally within their kind of, you know, reason to kind of not, you know, want to do any of this, not want to show off their face. That is why anonymous VTubers exist in the first place, because again, you know, it's a thing that, you know, has been common with VTubers forever. You know, this VTuber and many other VTubers, you know, are completely anonymous and never show off their face. And obviously, I think Rhyme is completely well within their right to obviously not, you know, show off anything. And there's been other people as well who have been saying stuff like peace and quiet, and they've muted VTuber versus IRL in words over on Twitter. They said, yeah, it's everywhere, and I'm a little tired of it at this point. Might mute as well. They said, will that also filter the words VTubers as well, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, it seems like some people are also trying to mute the words and trying to, you know, obviously not have this kind of come up on their feed anymore, which I think is also a pretty valid case. I don't know why you wouldn't want to, well, I mean, unless you're bored of the trend, I guess. I don't know why you wouldn't want it to come from your feed, but I can understand, you know, obviously it's your own feed, so you can do whatever you want whenever it comes to that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, that is essentially an update on the situation. I kind of wanted to cover it because I saw a couple of posts of people unhappy with the VTuber versus IRL trend. I think the trend in itself is okay, and it's actually a pretty fun one, especially with a lot of the joke ones that have been coming out, and even some of the serious ones too. I think, you know, they're pretty, you know, normal. But again, obviously, some people are unhappy due to the fact of the harassment they've been getting, due to the fact of people asking them to show their faces and things, which is just extremely weird chat behavior. And I think this is less of a problem of the trend in itself. Well, obviously it did start from the trend itself, but it is more so the weird chatters that are the problem here. And obviously, yeah, hopefully they do get banned from a lot of these chats. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code KAZA, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.